Sometimes you read a book, love it, finish it. Other times it finishes you. These are books that I believe will haunt me for the rest of my life. I'm saying that in a good way. Obviously, all of these books were rated 4 or 5 stars. Starting with a book I recently finished and have not been able to stop thinking about, Petty Lies by Solmi Bach. This one follows a few characters, and it's in the writing style where each chapter is a different character's point of view. Being completely honest, I went into this book not really knowing anything about it, and I think that's why I liked it so much. So I will say, don't know too much about this one before going into it, but absolutely check content warnings, and I mean that so seriously. Check content warnings, okay? There were some scenes in this book that were tough for me, and I don't really have any triggers, so make sure to check them. But I love this style of writing. I understand it's not going to be for everyone, but it works for me every single time. One of my favorite books of all time, The Devil in Silver by Victor LaValle. This one follows a man wrongfully convicted into this mental institution. Now, he knows he doesn't belong there, even though he starts seeing this sort of monster haunting him and the rest of the residents, and he's not the only one who can see it. So it's been a few years, and I still think about this book all the time, and I typically always enjoy Victor LaValle's writing, but this one just really stands out to me. Also, I loved the side characters of this book. The Troop by Nick Cutter follows this Boy Scout troop that goes on their yearly camping trip to this island where they soon realize that they are stuck on this island with a parasitic worm. Much like Petty Lies, make sure to check content warnings for this one. There are some tough scenes to get through. This book is very popular, and I think for good reason. It is probably one of the best written horror novels that I have read in a very long time. Comfort Me with Apples follows this perfect woman who lives this perfect life in her perfect home, but starts growing very concerned about her perfect husband. Listen, most of the time I have no idea what I'm talking about, but whatever writing style this one is in, it is one of my favorites where it makes you feel a little bit off kilter. The best way I could describe it is that it's quietly horrific. One of my favorite books of last year, Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. This one follows a woman named Cora who witnesses the attack on her sister that ended up taking her life. The story takes place during the pandemic. Now, she is a crime scene cleaner, and she starts to notice a pattern at each scene she's being hired to clean at. Not only is the story haunting, emotional, heartbreaking, but it is also terrifying. Like, there are certain scenes that are burned into my brain that I think about often. And finally, Kindred by Octavia Butler. This one follows a Black woman in the 80s living in California where randomly one day she gets sent back to the antebellum South. Obviously, as a Black woman, this is horrifying, but she ends up seeing a little boy drowning, so she ends up saving his life. Now, after she's done that, she gets sent back to the 80s, and she figures maybe that was just a very strange dream, and then she gets sent back again. And then again, and then again. Now, every time she goes, the time gets longer and longer. And then eventually she has to try and figure out how to get herself back to the correct timeline. The story is haunting and horrifying, but also very engaging and fast paced. Like, I think I finished this book in less than 24 hours. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like this video and follow for more recommendations. And I will see you next week for part 6, I think.